So Reina-san also born August 6, Hiroshima Day. So I asked her to beautiful voice to singing song.
I just have to say something in light of Chernobyl going dark. And I think most people don't understand that, you know, one of the things we were just talking about this, we've got treaties, we've got these things, and there are more nuclear weapons around. There's theft of nuclear materials. They get mined one place, they get refined somewhere else and put in casings, bombing case, whatever, however they're going to deliver it. And Ukraine has been a part of that development at Chernobyl. And if anyone has any questions, prove me wrong. That's all. But this is a really dirty, 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 dangerous game. And when I went to Japan, there wasn't that much talk about Hiroshima. And at that time, in the educational system, they had a television show that came out, Hadashi no Gen, the Barefoot Gen, and that was something that kind of rekindled some of the memory of that. Anyway, I brought my students to Hiroshima City to sing for the Peace Festival there. And the next year was 2010, and the next year was 2011. 2010, that year, I watched as one of my students said she really wanted to find a real Japanese man. And something in my heart, not that I have a problem with Japanese men, but something in my heart just said, why is she closing her heart to the whole world? But she had a very focused vision. And turns out later, she's a wonderful flutist named Mia. And turns out later she ended up being in Minamisoma. She was headed there on the day before, on the day of the tsunami. And the man that was putting the whole thing...
Minamisoma is Fukushima.
Plant, yeah. And they've got, what, 6 or 5 reactors? Anyway. I now understand what my heart was telling me, because she fell in love with a man who could not leave the land. They were farmers. His mother was who tended the shrine for Amaterasu, the sun goddess, and father tended the shrine for the Buddhist shrine. So the most important religion that came from outside, and their indigenous religion, that family could not leave that land, because that was their accountability, that was their responsibility. And I was in there in June, a couple months after the accident, and again in October. And the old ladies called me, they said, oh, you're a gambler. I said, I guess I must be. But what I saw was beautiful. I saw beautiful community. I saw incredible big high schools with very few children, because their folks were working in the power plant. But I never heard such soulful jazz from young people in my life. And the way they helped each other, the way they were, looking out for each other, and all the riches of this wealthy nation. And one of the things that the people were so pissed off about, you'd be driving along and you'd see people just sitting, women, men just sitting, farmers just sitting, looking at their land, just sitting and looking at the land. Just stunned. Everybody was just like stunned, And I said, well, what can I do? Because they said to me, about 75% of the people that we would have relied upon after the tsunami, they were gone. I said, well, what can I do? They said, you can't do anything. You have to go home and make your place. Right. We couldn't do it here. What made them so mad is they were set up. They were set up for it, because that was where they rolled out civilian use of nuclear power on the Japanese people. And they divided the community completely between the same old thing, who wants jobs, who doesn't want jobs, as if we live for a freaking job. Yeah, we live for a life, right? A living is what people are asking for. and they got a living taken away. Many livings were taken away from them. Anyway, I don't want to talk too much, but I come to find that this whole nuclear paradigm comes back everywhere. You know, GE owns the NASDAQ and the New York Stock Exchange. And any light bulb you want to buy, it's GE. I mean, what the heck? You know? But it's not GE anymore. They call it what? Comcast? Anyway, change of the names. I have I'm full of stories, but I won't bore you too much. But I have an auntie who's been calling me and who's been bothering me to make a TikTok. And as everybody knows, I'm crap on the internet, period, for social media. But she's like in her 70s and asked me to make a TikTok about because I wrote an anthem, lyrics to the national anthem a couple of years back when people were kneeling, and I couldn't understand why anybody would kneel in the first place to this rotten military anthem. Anthem to bombs bursting in air. What the hell is that? You know, that has nothing to do with basketball, baseball, anything that has to do with life. Nothing. So the whole upside down is turned around. Anyway, she wanted me to do a TikTok of this song. So, Carmen, I'm going to sing the song. Not that it's TikTok, but I'll sing the song.
What's the name of the song?
It's the national anthem to a new lyric. Yo, hey, can you see by the sun setting light any challenge we face is already seen under a golden star so high, whose bright smile sparkling white cloaks a rainbow that breathes the blood of life into earth's land creatures and seas. Bombs and missiles to scare make the people despair, for a nation bereft of the values held most dear by a true humanity. Hey, oh, can't you see? Only living in the light of the truth will set us free.
So this is another friend is